What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create proposals so you can consistently win video project bids against your competitors. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, take the time right now to hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this. Okay, before we start talking about how to create the proposal, let's talk about what not to do when you create the proposals. First and foremost, do not just email the client a number. And second, do not just input some numbers on the PDF and then send it off with a little message on it. That's not the proper way to go about this, because you want to come off as a premium brand, and also you want to come off like you have a good system and processes that is proven to be reliable, and that's what they're buying into. So now let's get into it. The first part of this, I call it the creative stage. And the creative stage is when you will have your first discovery call with the client. You will ask the client key questions about the project so you can get an overall understanding of the project, and that will kind of help you gauge on how creative you need to go with this project. A major factor in this, you have to consider if your client is a corporate client, a small business, or a small brand, entrepreneurs, stuff like that. That will help you gauge the amount of creativity that you need to input in the project so that way you could budget properly. Speaking of budget, never give pricing. Pricing is something that is dead and gone because not every video costs the same. Now that's out of the way. Once you get off the call with the client, the first thing you're going to be doing is doing a little bit of research. You're going to be doing a little research about the company, and within that research, you're going to see, okay, how creative are their projects normally are? And does it look like a creative or professional company shot their videos, or was it just a regular Joe Schmo? Most likely, if it's a regular Joe Schmo that created all their content, they're not going to understand so much about value. They're just mainly going to be shopping on price. Now that you know that, you're going to know how to present your proposal. And a second part of the research that you want to be doing is now you're going to be doing the creative part of the research, which is you're going to be looking online for different content of high caliber that is within that industry, so that way you could know how to properly approach the industry. So now that you have all your research, you're just going to sit down and ponder on the research a little bit to see how's the finished product going to look as far as feel, pacing, color, lighting, and all of that. Brainstorm on that a little bit and write down everything that comes to mind so that way you can know whatever you'll need as far as gear, people, and what locations you'll be shooting at. Once you finish your brainstorming, now it's time for you to go to the charts and write down the numbers, because now you're going to actually put what you think you'll need down on paper so that way you can know exactly what number to quote the customer. That's why it's super important to never give a price firsthand. Go ahead and create a spreadsheet, and within that spreadsheet, you're going to put down every line item that you'll need and charge for every single line item within the production. When it comes to creating a budget, you're always going to input numbers that has to do with the who, the what, and the where. The who meaning what crew will be needed for this project, not only for the pre-production, the production phase, and also for the post-production phase. And make sure you get everybody's rates so that way you have no issues when it comes down to paying them. Now leave a comment down below if you want me to create a specific video that will show you exactly how I go about to create my budget for my proposals. After you've got the who, now it's the what camera kit you'll be needing, what lights you'll be needing, all of that, every accessories, all of that should go into the what. If you need licensing, all of that should go under the what as well too. The last part is the where. The where is what locations do you need to rent out to make this possible. Sometimes you can shoot at a peer space where it allows you to rent other people's places, either a home, a studio, at an affordable rate, so that way you can create your projects at locations that look aesthetically pleasing. Now that we have a number for the budget, now is the time for us to create the proposal. You're going to create a PDF, and within that PDF, you're going to have a cover page. And the cover page has to be something well created, designed, and branded by your company. It should have your company name, your tagline. It should have your contact information, your social media. So that way when the client sends off the PDF to their team members, all your information can be there. The first part of your proposal, which should be on the second page, will now start to talk about your team's goal and your approach for this project. This is where you will tell the client exactly what the concept of the video is. Also, to give the client the ultimate reason on why you decided to attack the project the way you are. Simply because you feel like it's going to make them different. You know, some of these companies and some of these clients, they like that. You know, they want to stand out. They want to be different from the rest. So by you being creative and helping them do that, to them, that's way more valuable than just a number. Now that you have explained to the client your team's goal for this project, and how it's going to align with their mission, now it's time for you to help them envision how that look like. So I always have a section in the proposal that is called inspiration. So remember in the beginning when I talked about the research that you will be doing so you could find out some high caliber videos within the industry that will help depict on what your project will look like, feel like, and sound like. Now it's time to grab those video links and put them in the proposal. I usually do about 2 videos. For example, if the video is a talking head video, I would normally have one of the best talking head videos that I like, and then I will find another video that has some type of artistic feel to it. Then I would put those 2 together on the proposal, and I will tell the customer, these are some inspirations that we put together. In one video, we're going to grab the pacing, the lighting, and the way this feels. In the second video, we're going to grab the camera movement, and we're going to grab the color science in there, and then we're gonna merge it and then create something brand new to create your video. Now, at that point, the client could actually physically see, 1, you know what the hell you're talking about, and 2, oh my God, my project's about to be bomb. If they can see it, then they can believe it. Now it's time to show them the plans on how you plan to execute. So within the script area, it's super important for you to collaborate with the client because they know their industry, they know the terms to use. That will make it super easy when it comes down for you to create your shot list and your storyboards. Now it's time for you to tell them the second part of working together is going to the production phase. In the production phase, here's everything that's going to happen on the day of the production. Our crew's going to come in, we're going to set up everything that needs to be set up, and the crew's going to be there half an hour early so that way we can brief and discuss and see if anything changes throughout the location, so that way we can know how to prepare and pivot if anything goes wrong. When the client sees things like this, they're immediately thinking to themselves like, man, these guys got their shit together. And that's the confidence you want to give the customer. You want to give them the confidence that this money I'm about to pay is about to be an investment for real, for real. Then you explain to them your plans for post-production. And that plan for post-production is basically going to be everything that you're going to be doing in post-production. In layman terms, keep it super simple for them and tell them that you'll be doing detailed clip selection so that way you can arrange the video in a way that is engaging and impactful. You know, those 2 words right there is something that they want to hear. Once you finish explaining to them the post-production process, now it's time for you to give them an overview of the project, letting them know how big their crew will be, what time you will be arriving on the scene, give them some dates and times that you suggest for them to shoot, and also giving them the deliverables that you plan to deliver. Once you're finished that part, now it's time for you to show off your work. Within the recent works, it will have all the projects that resonate or that resembles their project, so that way they can kind of get an idea of your work quality. Now after that comes your team section. Now the team section should have pictures of your team members and also a short biography about the team member pertaining to what they do within the company. That will show the customer that your team has extensive experience in different parts of production that can help justify the value that the customer is investing in. Now we're not done. I know it's a lot to take in, but keep in mind, if you follow these steps, you will consistently win your bids over and over, and it will make it very hard for your competitors to keep up with you because most of the time your competitors is not taking out the time to give a thorough description of their proposal, and they're just sending in a price and not making their proposals engaging like yours are. Now remember, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Lastly, what I highly suggest for you to do is get powerful recommendation letters from your past client. For my team and I, we were able to get recommendations from CEOs that worked at big companies, and that's a huge help to the customer when they can read great things about you from a person of that stature. To them, it's more so like, yo, that's a no-brainer, you know, like these guys are legit because you have social proof of a person in a high position that is vouching for you. Now, after it's all said and done, it's now time you get into the numbers. I think it's great to itemize things within the budget. However, it should be things that you cannot control. So for example, makeup artists, you can't control that unless you have an in-house makeup artist or a stylist, you know? So it makes sense for you to itemize the makeup artist because that can give the client the option to decline makeup or hair if they need to, because they probably have somebody that can do it. But the thing is, when it comes to your production, everything you can control, as far as the pre-production phase, all the way down to the post-production, you wanna keep all of that together and call it video production. That's it. Boom. Keep it simple, stupid. When it's all said and done, you know, sometimes there's a negotiation phase. And within the negotiation phase, it's more so like, all right, I really wanted to keep my budget around this area. Is there any way we can bring it down to there? So start taking off things that is not necessarily crucial to the production that you can't control. The location, if the client doesn't have a proper location to shoot, that's something you're gonna keep on there. And then after that, you go to your budget spreadsheet and you start taking off things that you may not need. For example, if you had a red camera rented out, maybe I could just get a Blackmagic. Do I really need this Cook lens? Or can I just get a Rokinon lens? So that way you could start taking some things out the budget and making it a little bit more closer to what the client envisioned. Usually most of the times, if it's $500 to $1,000 over budget, as long as you express that, you've done everything in your powers to bring it down to this number, they'll understand. This will help you win bids consistently over and over. As long as you follow the steps I showed you, gauge the customer to know exactly how much they will spend at that, because for the most part, customers don't really like to spit out a budget from the jump. However, it's up to you to educate them and also give them a heads up that, hey, look, listen, our projects does start at around X thousand amount of dollars. Now, if they say, oh no, that's a little bit too high, then you know that wasn't a good fit at the moment. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions that you want me to clarify for you. Once again, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you on my next one. Deuces.